People felt like I was Diddy's biggest cheerleader and I made him my brand. And I felt like...
But the feds are all over her like white rice. It appears that it's time for her to see her pop in jail. But is young Miami really going down with Diddy? And is she really worse than Ghislaine Maxwell of all people? Let's break it down. The authorities are attempting to swiftly get a broad indictment after conducting federal raids. Closing close on suspected accomplices who have spent years remained silent and assisted in maintaining the purported illegal enterprise, so just when it seemed like things in the Diddy case couldn't get any worse. He was smacked with another complaint that links him to his subpar __, also known as Young Miami. The case was filed in the New York State Supreme Court on Friday, September 27th. The plaintiff, Jane Doe, claimed that Diddy had impregnated her without her permission and that young Miami had forced her to stop the relationship. The complaint's facts are really bizarre, but let's break it down first. Miami is about to have a very difficult month because, according to the streets, the federal government has authorized her incarceration since she is Diddy's handler and freak-off assistant. In other words, they're claiming that young Miami is to Diddy what Ghislaine Maxwell was. The feds have her on tape doing some of the most repulsive things that have ever come out of Diddy's freak-offs, according to Jeffrey Epstein. Not only that, but it seems she was personally in charge of providing Diddy with illegal substances, alcohol, high school-age girls, and some of that baby oil we've been hearing about. Oh, but it gets worse. Young Miami was purportedly in charge of looking after Diddy's victims, either paying them off or silencing them. Since then, Diddy has been the target of numerous lawsuits. Keisha thought she could hide forever.
Since then, Diddy has been at the center of multiple lawsuits, federal raids, and now a sweeping indictment. The feds are looking to quickly close in on alleged co-conspirators.
For context, just take a moment to recognize how ironic it is that young Miami is essentially being confirmed at the same time that Diddy's handler streets are claiming that the lawsuit pales in comparison to what young Miami actually accomplished within Diddy's organization, and that things will only get worse from here. Though there have long been suspicions that young Miami is Diddy's handler, things really heated up when Cassie filed her shocking lawsuit against Diddy back in November of last year. As everyone is aware, Cassie had only made sense for people to start wondering if Miami was doing okay as Diddy's girlfriends, because their relationship had some serious red flags waving across the sky. However, Miami didn't exactly react like someone who was afraid for her own safety, or at least empathetic to Diddy's other victims. In fact, you could almost feel like Miami was putting hands on Diddy, having her followed and monitored, forcing her into freakouts, and recording her without her consent. In February of this year, we quickly learned why Caresha was so unconcerned about the entire situation after she was mentioned in Lil Rod's troubling lawsuit against Diddy. The lawsuit claimed that young Miami was Diddy's Doug Mule for something called 2Y, which is reportedly Diddy's favorite nose candy. Plaintiff Jones was purportedly there in his dressing room when he saw defendant Sean desire Tucci, but Brendan. So defendant Christina Coram called young Miami, who then brought it on the private jet from Miami. The documents also claimed that young Miami was a paid ex-worker of Diddy's rotation, along with other women who were also named in the lawsuit. These accusations were bad enough, but things got a whole lot messier when the new lawsuit against Diddy basically confirmed everything Lil Rod had said. According to the lawsuit, the victim Jane Doe first linked up with Diddy when he invited her on an overseas trip in 2020. Fast forward to the spring. Year 2022, Jane Doe alleges she went to see Diddy once more in Miami. When she woke up, she discovered that she had a bite mark on her heel and purple, bruised feet, and she had no idea how she had gotten those injuries. Additionally, it is said that Jane Doe was forced to consume an unidentified substance, which she would later discover contained either drogamine or other substances. After being forced to consume these substances, she allegedly blacked out and began to slip in and out of consciousness, effectively leaving her unaware of what had happened to her while she was in that state. However, she had the shock of her life when a pregnancy test revealed that she was pregnant. However, according to court filings, young Miami intervened and began pinging Jane Doe relentlessly as soon as she learned she was pregnant. It's unclear whether young Miami's actions contributed to the miscarriage, but a pregnant lady should be very concerned about the stress of being called by Miami on a regular basis and told to seek an abortion. dangerous to her and the health of the unborn child, and young Miami should know this given that she is a mother herself. However, I suppose that whatever Diddy was paying her was sufficient to allow her to disregard her morality and how she lived as a pregnant woman until the birth of her child. It's not surprising, then, that young Miami ended up in this lawsuit, accused of pressuring an alleged victim to end their pregnancy. After all, there was a good reason why DJ academics dubbed Miami Diddy's Aunt Maxwell.
So anyway, in 2021, you hear Caresha Maxwell says she's on a private island with Diddy, and of course she got this face. You know what this
fucking tweets, basically. Back on December 13th, 2022, we had this young Miami thing going on where she was saying, "If I wanted you to eat my body, Diddy would have." And this is the crucial part. If I wanted you to do what Diddy would have done, Diddy would have had you on your, she remarked, niche. You're an eater, and continued, Gina, you've been down hard since I came into the scene. Salute to her for having poor self-esteem, since they all know that pretty much you've been around that you put in when he feels like you're an eater. You the same onto All Right Now music, and you've been wailing for a baby for 10 years since I came into the picture. This serves as a reminder once again that Miami just got into a fight with Diddy's ex-girlfriend Gina Hyen. When Diddy announced the birth of his child with Dana Tran in 2022, people were already snooping on Diddy and Miami's relationship because it seemed like no matter what she did, he just wouldn't acknowledge her as his girlfriend. Not even when she took a whole billboard sign saying "Go Poppy" to support him while he received his Lifetime Achievement Award, that man literally went on stage and gave a shout. Said some things that seemed to hint that she might have forced Gina to get a termination. Looking back, Diddy's shouting out to Cassie was not a good thing either, because there are rumors that he already knew that she was preparing her lawsuit, and that the shout-out was a sort of warning shot to her and the world. Still, he did not acknowledge the woman flashing signs to let the whole world know how much she was in his corner. Lauren Gibson, my love, kept me free too. Ooh, oh, and Cassie held me down during dark times. Definitely needs to give Cassie her flowers for not backing down, because she set this whole thing in motion and gave other victims the strength to come forward anyway. Young Miami was fighting for life to get Diddy to even acknowledge her, so she was pressed as hell when Diddy's in a tweet labeled, "When she beefed with you over a ninja, but the whole time he got somebody else pregnant, Gina made fun of her." This sparked a lengthy Twitter exchange in which Gina called Miami out and Miami called her old baggage, which Gina didn't respond to. Back down, even when she made fun of me in a different post with a tongue-out photo captioned, "Keisha, you know you want to taste this yum yum sauce." Girl Miami was seeing red at this time. Who was sobbing on Tasha K because you wanted a baby. Poor Sushi. Think back on firings, let the pain pass. Remember how Jaguar Wright exposed Miami for being on Diddy's XW payroll? Chun-Li. Young Miami was being so hard on herself since she really didn't have to do all that, particularly with the stories about her helping Diddy recruit gullible young females for drug-fueled freak-out parties. Work, and other unpleasant stuff. Jaguar said that Miami was experiencing even worse circumstances than we could have ever imagined, since Diddy was giving her an astounding $250,000 a month. However, as soon as he stopped giving her that amount, Miami packed her belongings and made threats to leave him.
And congratulations, young man. Run as fast as Cassie did.
The way the new relationship should work is that she should get paid. She was receiving $500,000 a month when she quit, so I believe that's where things stand right now. However, consider this: there are women in this music room. Why would you quit what you were doing, knowing that $250,000 isn't enough? I'm simply expressing what's happening in that the fact that he reduced from 500 to 200, who then delivers a _ 200,000, who 250,000, who reject 250,000, a month the girl quits the relationship for $250,000, which isn't enough to see some things that aren't worth $250,000. There must be some dark aspects to this, such as people failing to understand that the girl was receiving $2 million a quarter before she developed a relationship so intense that it isn't worth $1 million a quarter. Jaguar is correct though, as it's strange that every time Diddy or Young Miami were questioned about their, since Miami is Diddy's handler, they. Jing. Caresha, please stop talking about herself. Oh my god, okay. Music, you're saying that Keisha is exactly the same as Nicki Minaj in that she enjoys the same things as her, that is, she likes the sheish that makes her feel attracted to her, as well as the seductive red, the sukiyas, and all of this seish. Oh, a lot of them said things like, I know to punish her when I see one. I was to punish it once in my life. You know that it takes one to know one. And this hurts fans' sentiments. And you know how the internet never lets these things go. People kept asking questions and glancing glances at Miami, particularly when she began attempting to separate herself from Diddy after the federal investigation was made public. She even went so far as to pin Southside, her baby daddy, on the block and began to be spotted at various events and clubs with him, making it obvious that she and Diddy were no longer together. However, fans saw right through the BS and then dragged her through the mud for attempting to escape the consequences of her relationship with Diddy, which prompted Miami the part in the story where she attempted to portray her relationship with Diddy as solely business-related or mentor-mentee. So how do you feel about that? I think it was beneficial for both of us. I mean, I was able to come and serve as a brand ambassador for On and take it to a whole new level because, while I won't say that nobody was drinking On, nobody wasn't drinking. When I arrived, it was just like that. I honestly just feel like with Diddy, I met him at P Party, and I don't know what his intentions were, but I don't know if it was like business or he really liked me, but I felt like, when he got me, he really saw something in me, and that's why he was like, you know what? You got a big personality like you should do a podcast like you know how to engage your conversations like that. It's a city or Sumer we trying Del on, we acting bad, so I feel like I was an asset. Let's go to Poppy's trial. Someone else said that she did it and that she should take a trip with Diddy. Stand by your man's side. Kesha had fun throughout the drama, but do you think Young Miami will turn on Diddy to get out of this, or is she going down permanently? Please share your opinions in the comments section below, and don't forget to watch the following video.